hope that the current drive to reposition this vital registration system will provide the basis for 100% attainment of our year 2030 SDG targets in respect of real-time identity management and population data. Coming at this time, the Commission has made substantial progress in quest to deliver the first digital population and housing census.
UNICEF remains steadfast in its support to the federal government of Nigeria's endeavor to build a sustainable civil registration and vital statistics system. We are committed to providing technical assistance in establishing the necessary requirements for the successful compilation and processing of data.
And marks a major milestone in the journey towards the introduction of a new electronic civil registration and vital statistics system.
The Senate has resolved to probe alleged unwholesome practices by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAM). The upper legislative chamber said the move is to curtail the practice of undisclosed admissions and other unwholesome practices by the board and universities, particularly the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN. These resolutions were reached at Wednesday's plenary after a debate on a motion by a senator representing Ebonyi North, Peter Nwebonyi. After the debate, the leadership of the Senate declined adopting any of the prayers recommended and referred the matter to the Committees on Public Petitions and Tertiary Institutions for further legislative action. Both committees are expected to invite the official of JAM, UNN, and the Minister of Education, Professor Tahi Maman, in the course of the probe to explain the circumstances surrounding the undisclosed admission phenomenon and report back in 2 weeks.
Worried that the provisional admission practice is being used as a malicious tool to exploit and frustrate intelligent young Nigerians who are children and wards of ordinary Nigerians. Also worried by the fact that these children
and the Senate regrets that his demise is a great loss to his family, the Ibira clan, Kogi State in particular, and Nigeria in general. The Senate accordingly resolves to observe a minute's silence in his honor, send a condolence letter to commiserate with the family, the good people of Ibira land.
JAM has its own reputation. So the discussing and particularizing it could tend to give the international community that something is questionable about the certificates from University of Nigeria, which we all respect. It has given birth to so many universities, including the one I went to, which was the University of Calabar. So I think the Latin phraseology applies here, which is audi autem patem. Let the other side be heard. If it is the view of the Senate that we refer the entirety of this petition or this motion, particularly the contents of the prayers, to the 2 committees.
The Chairman, House Committee on Renewable Energy, Honorable Afam Ogene, has advocated on the need for Nigeria to increase investment in renewable energy for a sustainable environment. Ogene made the recommendation on Wednesday at the inaugural meeting of the Committee on Sub-Stakeholders in Abuja. He said the global quest for a safer, sustainable, and renewable energy is an indication there is a majority agreement that there is a need for a new way of doing things. The federal lawmaker noted that records, research, and science have all shown evidentially that fossil fuels are one of such friendly enemies of mankind. The committee chairman also stated that the intentional investment in renewable energy starts from members of the parliament, noting that the renewable energy is a new field and so members must all roll up their sleeves and get to work. In another development, the House of Representatives Committee on the Federal Capital Territory has called on the Minister Nyesom Wike to pay attention to the security of lives and properties in the nation's capital. The committee called for the improvement in revenue generation to fund the infrastructural development of the FCT. The committee chairman on FCT, Mukhtar Betara, made the call on Wednesday in Abuja at his inaugural meeting. House of Representative correspondent Linda Ike reports that it said for those who owned undeveloped landed property, Betara urged them to quickly do and pay ground rent without delay. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of FCT, Adeshola Olushade, who represented the FCT minister Yesom Wike, thanked the committee for their commitment to assist in the development of their federal capital territory.
Scientists and experts have predicted that we will deplete the Earth's fossil fuel reserves in as few as 50 years. So investing now in renewable energy is one way to ensure a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable future. And with the fast dwindling global fossil fuel reserve and the increasing danger associated with it, especially as regards its impact on the environment and climate change, renewable energy is the future, and Nigeria must step up and be more intentional in investing.
A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has on Wednesday admitted the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, to conditional bail after 151 days in the custody of the federal government security agencies. The court permitted Emefiele to go home and prepare for his November 15 arraignment despite stiff opposition from the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Justice Olukayode Adegbola Adeniyi, who granted the bail, hinged his decision on the fact that Emefiele had stayed in government custody beyond the time stipulated by law. The judge also predicated his decision on the fact that the federal government had completed an investigation into the allegations against the former CBN chief and had even prepared the charge against him as far as August this year. The judge specifically said that there must be an end to detention without trial by the federal HUL. AFCC, on its part through its counsel, Farouk Abudallah, insisted that Emefiele had not spent 3 months in his custody and urged the court to refuse the bail request.
That what happened in court was the victory of the rule of law and due process. We thank the agencies of government, the DSS, the EFCC, and the Ministry of Justice, and the federal government generally for complying with the order of court that was made on the 2nd and reiterated on the 8th to produce the Mr. Emefiele in court. Now, he was produced in court, and if you recall, part of the order was that he was to be produced for the purpose of being admitted to bail. The court has admitted him to bail, and the terms have been perfected, and he's free to go home and return for arraignments any day. The court will take his arraignment. Tentatively now, 15th of November.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the restriction of vehicular movement in Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo State during governorship elections scheduled to hold on Saturday. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer, SCP Muyiwa Adejobi, said the restriction will be effective from 12:01 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday in the three states. Adejobi, however, added that those on essential services are exempted from the restriction on election day. The police and other security agencies, however, warned that no form of electoral violence in the November 11 off-cycle governorship election in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo states will be tolerated.
The Inspector General of Police has ordered the restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation from 12:01 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day, that is 11th of November 2023 in the affected states, with the exception of those on essential services such as INEC officials, accredited electoral observers, ambulances responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, and the media, etc., etc. The order, which is part of measures in place to ensure a safe, secure, and conducive environment for the conduct of elections, is aimed at ensuring public order management, the safety of electorates, as well as assisting the security agencies in effective policing.
Governor Ademola Adeleke has flagged off free enrollment of 23,000 pensioners in Oshu State into the Oshu Health Insurance Scheme, otherwise known as OIS. After flagging off the enrollment, Governor Adeleke said the free gesture, which is part of top priorities in his electoral promises, will ensure that all pensioners in the state have access to free health care in any government health facility of their choice. Speaking, the Executive Secretary of Oshu Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Rasak Akindele, said once the enrollment cards are ready after registration, the pensioners can access free healthcare service at any government health facility in the country. He noted that the state is setting a pace for others to follow as he revealed that the governor has ordered 100% payment of training fee for resident doctors in the state.
My commitment is not our commitment to the well-being of our retired citizens. These are men and women who meritoriously serve the state. They deserve all the support now that they are out of service. My dear fellow citizens, when I was campaigning, but you won't get paid, I told you your care will be my top priority.
In fact, when we initially got the statistic, we got 11,000 pensioners. That was the statistic we got. But that statistic did not include the contributory pensioners, who are the recent pensioners. The statistics now stands at 23,000 pensioners. And we are going to enroll all the 23,000 pensioners.
The registration of our members into these OIS, we appreciate it more than giving us money even. Since the inception of Oshu State, as I have said, there is no single governor that has attended our Elders' Day ceremony or Elders' Day anniversary.
We thank God for this program. We appreciate our governor, Jackson Ademola Adeleke, for this special program. We don't see all these things since creation of states.
The need to improve the communication gaps among Nigerian students through exhibition of creative talent at the nation's higher institutions of learning was re-echoed today. Students of the University of Lagos, represented by the creative director for the Student Festival Committee, who announced this, said the annual Beach Festival has been used to bridge the gap among students. He said festival will also strive to inspire and instill hope in the talent with the Nigerian youth, as it will encourage them to steadfastly pursue their dreams and aspirations.
We are also collaboratively engaging over 200 students in organizing this event, resulting to a total of 700 student partners. We are optimistic that this project will lead to positive outcome and signify an innovative leap towards encouraging students to venture into positive endeavors in their respective campuses in the country.
Should I say, we are happy to be a partner to this beach festival. To any questions from the persons?
And that's all from the local scene tonight. We'll go on a quick break to bring you foreign stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching MITV Primetime News. Now to foreign reports. 26 senators signed a letter to the Biden administration, including more than half of all Democratic lawmakers in the Senate, underscoring a growing push from Congress for more clarity on the U.S. policy towards Israel. The legislator said they support continued U.S. aid for Israel, but asked for the Biden administration's assessment of the viability of Israel's military strategy in Gaza and if there is an achievable plan to govern Gaza after the fighting ends. The letter also asked for information about what specific mechanisms you were putting in place to ensure that Israeli military operations conducted inside Gaza are carried out in accordance with international humanitarian law and to ensure that any U.S.-provided equipment is used in a manner consistent with U.S. law. Our Spanish minister, Lone Benere, has called on the international community to sanction Israel, which he accused of a planned genocide of Palestinians in Gaza. The Spanish minister for social rights and leader of the far-left Podemos party also condemned world leaders for an apparent double standard, saying while human rights abuses in Ukraine have been decried, there is a definite silence on the victims of Israeli bombardment. Belarus said on Wednesday that the Israeli state must end the planned genocide against the Palestinian people. She insisted that Spain and other nations should break off diplomatic relations with Israel in protest of its assault on Gaza. The leader of the United Kingdom main opposition party, Labour, has refused to call for a ceasefire in Gaza, a position that is costing him political support and could dent his chances in the new general election. Since Israel began its deadly campaign of retaliatory air raids against Hamas and the impoverished Gaza Strip, the former Director of Public Prosecutions, the PP for England and Wales, has been navigating the most volatile period of his 3 years at the party's head. Late on Tuesday, Shadow Minister Imran Hussein quit Labour front bench in protest as Starmer's refusal to heed calls from many in his party to push for an Israeli ceasefire. And up next is sport-related stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now talking sports. Tottenham must try to respond to Monday's dramatic 4-1 defeat at home to Chelsea, but injuries and suspensions are piling up for Ange Postecoglou side on a trip to Wolves for Saturday's early kickoff will be another difficult test. Spurs well on top when 1-0 up against Chelsea early on, but then chaos ensued at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The true away delay ended up with 2 men sent off, and for the past few days have been left to reflect on a crazy and ultimately damaging 4-1 defeat. There were still some positives to take from the loss that Postecoglou's men battled gamely against the Old for much of the second half. But it remains to be seen what setback has done for Spurs' title ambitions, while the game may also have longer-term ramifications due to the injuries and suspensions suffered. And with that, we draw the curtain on the primetime news tonight. From the entire news crew, I am Teresa Adeyemi. Do have a great night. Good night.